5 Real dark stories behind Disney movies. As a child, every girl has one wish: become a princess, and more precisely, a Disney princess. I mean, who wouldn't want to become such a beautiful princess with shiny hair, beautiful dresses, magical assistants, and lavish castle? However, there are two sides to every story, and girls wish to be those princesses because they were unaware of the other side of the story, which is pretty dark. To all those girls or even boys who looked up to those utopian fairy tales, sorry, but your bubbles are going to get popped pretty harshly today. But the good part is that the princesses are safe. Somewhat. Well, we aren't leaving our favorite Pinocchio and Winnie the Pooh behind. Stay tuned to find the truth out. 5 Cinderella.
Oh, we like you. We really like you too. She's nice, very.
Well, let's just...
The story we all know goes like this. Cinderella's mom dies, so her dad marries a wicked woman with 2 annoying and dumb wicked daughters.
What'd you say, huh?
I don't know.
You clumsy!
After her dad dies too, she becomes the housemaid until she finds out that she has a fairy godmother.
And this too, Cinderella, my slippers. Now don't forget
Things. Very well.
Mother, I don't see why everybody else seems to have...
Who helps her get a nice dress, a carriage made out of pumpkin, some horses, a carriage boy, and a pair of beautiful glass slippers.
Handle the reins. Yes, the finishing touch. And that's you. Yeah. Now, don't.
The story continues as she goes to the ball, falls in love with the prince, but has to run away before the clock struck 12. Because that's when all her magical dress, carriage, horses, etc. would vanish. However, as she hurries away from the prince, she leaves a glass slipper in the staircase, and the prince goes out in the search of his beloved Cinderella.
Important things to discuss. Arrangements for the wedding.
Your Majesty, please.
A knighthood.
But the good part is that the story ends with Cinderella marrying the prince, according to the glass slipper law. Well, the real story is a bit skewed from the one we know. In the end, when the glass slipper was supposed to be tried on, one of the sisters chopped off her toes, while the other sliced off her own heel to fit in. This doesn't end here. The sisters get attacked by the doves from the heaven that peck at their eyes as a punishment from God for what they did to Cinderella. Okay, none of us love those sisters, but ouch. 4 The Little Mermaid.
I don't know. It's scary. No, it's not. It's sad. Come on!
This story of a redhead beautiful mermaid is still one of the most famous Disney stories recognized worldwide. As if the others aren't. This is the story of a beautiful little mermaid, Ariel.
His teeth are bigger than I am. Come on. Come on. It's all right. Nobody's gonna...
Who is the 7th daughter of the King Triton and Queen Athena of an underwater kingdom of merfolk called Atlantica.
What's that girl doing in there now?
Ariel, you know he shouldn't be in here. Killer whale.
And she falls in love with Prince Eric, whom she rescued from a shipwreck.
I just come to remind you about the big spring celebration.
Sebastian, that's not for 3 months.
After making a deal with the witch and overcoming a lot of difficulties, she finally gets legs from her father and marries Prince Eric.
Good boy, good boy.
However, the real version is a bit twisted. According to the real story, Ariel did not only wish to get legs because she was in love with the prince.
Where? I just haven't found her yet.
Well, perhaps you haven't been looking hard enough.
Oh, believe me, Grim, when I find...
But also because mermaids did not go to heaven, and in order to go to heaven, she had to be a human. So she had to pay the price to get the legs, as every time she took a step, she felt as if she was stepping on knives.
The prince fall in love with her, and he's gonna kiss her.
And she's only got 3 days. Just look at her. on legs.
And another major plot twist is that the prince does not fall in love with the mermaid, because if he did, then every time he kissed her he would transfer part of his soul into her body, giving her an afterlife. Ariel decides to give a huge sacrifice for her husband by jumping into the sea on her wedding day after she gets married to him. Three, Pinocchio.
Conscience. Nah, phooey.
This tale of a boy is often used to teach children about not lying and stuff, but the real version is more than just that. The watchmaker made him and sewed clothes for him as if he was a real boy, and the next morning that toy could talk. In the end that we know, the wooden boy turns into a real human being, and he lives happily ever after with his father. In the real version, Pinocchio wasn't a good boy at all. He murdered Jiminy the Cricket in the first act. Geppetto, Pinocchio's father, goes to jail for negligence, and when he comes out he sells his only coat so that he can send Pinocchio to the school and buy him school books. But Pinocchio buys theater tickets with that money instead. Concluding this story, Pinocchio is much worse in the real version, as compared to the one we know, and in the end he dies as two other characters hung him by the tree, saying their last goodbyes to him. 2. Snow White.
There's the bed. Where will you sleep?
Oh, we'll be quite comfortable. Don't worry about us.
We'll be all.
This tale of a black-haired, beautiful princess whose stepmother tries to kill her has a dark side to it as well. Shocking but true. According to the version that we have been aware of so far, this is a story of a beautiful princess named Snow White who lives with her stepmother after her father dies.
Dwa, dwa, dwa.
Her father always taught her to be fair, and this fairness caused her a great problem later in life. Her stepmother used to go up to the mirror and say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?"
Magic mirror on the wall.
Oh, white, fairest one of all.
And to this the mirror would reply, "Snow White" every time. The queen made her huntsman to kill her, but he let her go after confessing this in the woods with Snow White.
She can pick wildflowers.
Yeah. But your majesty, the little princess.
Silence!
She later finds a house that belongs to 7 dwarfs and lives with them until the evil queen finds out that she is alive and tries to kill her again as an old lady.
Don't listen to that old warthog. Come on now, man. Butter and rub it on your face and go. Get your hands full of water.
Who gives her a poisoned apple, which makes her fall asleep until the prince comes and kisses her. The prince manages to wake her up with his kiss, while the evil queen ends up dying after the dwarf chase her. She falls off from the cliff of a mountain, according to our version, but in the real version she is made to wear hot iron shoes and dance until she dies on the wedding of the princess. Yikes!
Left it in.
Pooh! Just the...
This story of a group of animals who are friends and live together in a jungle with their human friend Christopher Robin.
Ooh. Well, would you look what came out in the wash? I've become a rather bubbly bear. What are you doing here, Pooh?
It's pretty cute, as long as it's the Disney version. The reality is pretty twisted and disturbing, as each character from the movie has one sort of mental illness or another. Starting with the cute chubby yellow fellow, Winnie the Pooh is said to have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD.
Oh, buddy!
Oh, I need some help too, Tigger. I want to hang these pictures on my wall, but they simply won't fit. And I simply don't know why.
Piglet suffers from generalized anxiety, Eeyore has depression, Tigger has hyperactivity and impulsivity, and Rabbit has OCD. Our young boy Christopher Robin does not come clean as well. All of this is said to be an illusion. Christopher's adventures with all these animals are just inside his head.
Now I can help friend Rabbit.
Remember, the world is full of shapes, all around you, all the time. Just look and see.
And Winnie the Pooh is actually a stuffed toy he has, hence concluding the fact that he has schizophrenia. We told you to watch this video at your own risks, as it would shatter a lot of childhood memories, but this is what it is. If you like the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated for future videos. My Instagram will be in the description down below if you want to check that out. For more original content published every week, be sure to subscribe. Love you guys and see you in the next one. Bye!
We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk, Savannah.